Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday and warm wishes for the week ahead.
And just in case you missed it, my tarot course officially launched last week. I'm super excited about it. It's been getting excellent feedback. I have a 90-minute masterclass, which is free. It takes you through the 22 major arcana tarot cards. So if you've always wanted to dip your toes into the waters of tarot, or if you already know the tarot and just want to get a little bit more deeper information, definitely check that out. I've also linked that right here in the newsletter. And you can also find it right on the homepage of my website. And naturally, I have a full-on course, which takes you on the whole journey through the tarot, which is available as well. So check that out too.
This week, we're starting a brand new month, the month of December, the final month of 2024. Can you believe it? This forecast encompasses Monday, November 27th through Sunday, December the 3rd. Now, as we embark upon the final week of November and the first week of December, it's a week that takes us into our last month of the year. And there's a really strong focus on our minds, our belief systems, our hearts, our desires. We've got a big full moon to start the week off right on Monday in the sign of Gemini, which is the sign ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is all about our mind, our thinking, our perception, our communication. It's also about words and information. So just as much as it's important to be very mindful of the words that we speak, it is even more important to be mindful of our thoughts. And that's not to say that we're not going to have negative thoughts that come into our being every now and again, because of course we are. But it's about being aware of when we are not speaking kindly to and of ourselves, because we don't want that to manifest. We want to reframe our thinking.
So the full moon takes place Monday, 4:17 a.m. Eastern Time on the 27th. And the sun is currently at 4 degrees of Sagittarius, which means that this moon is exactly opposite the sun at 4 degrees of Gemini. We have a full moon when the sun and the moon are in exact opposition to each other. And in the newsletter, there's a quick little video with more details on this full moon. But just know that it's likely that there will be some form of transmission of information that occurs for you. This is a Mercury-ruled full moon because Mercury is the planet that rules Gemini. Don't attach yourself to the astrology if you don't understand it. Just know that this means that information is a-coming. And it can even come into you through the dream space. It's up to you to decipher, though, what is true, what is fact, what is fiction, what is paranoia, where do we need to alter our perception on certain things, on certain situations, on certain relationships. Relationships are a huge focus as we move throughout the end of this year and a lot more into next year, but we'll get into that later on. There's a lot of energy around this full moon. It is in Gemini. The sun is in Sagittarius. We've got Saturn currently in Pisces. There's a lot of mutable energy. Mutable energy means adaptable, quick, changeable, flexible, but also it can feel very scattered and anxiety producing. It can take a toll on our nervous systems. It can take a toll on our minds. It can be a lot of energy. If you or someone that you know struggles, energy like this can really ramp them up, can really aggravate the system. So just be mindful of that. Take care of yourself, take care of others, reach out, and know that you're not alone and that this too shall pass. That's the good thing about energy. That's the good thing about cycles. I always tell my clients this, especially when they're in a really bad space, a really sad space, a really negative frame of mind. Everything is cyclical, the good times and the bad. Positively speaking, this can be great energy for getting things done, for accomplishing goals and tasks, for running errands, chores, something as simple as that. It's great for exercise. You may find that you have a surplus of energy. If you are a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and especially if you're in the earlier degrees of any of those signs, you may feel highly energized by this full moon. Whereas if you're a Pisces, Sagittarius, or Virgo, or Gemini, you may feel very anxious, very nervous, very scattered, but you also might feel very productive. That's why I said in the video, it can be a messy full moon, but messy can be good. So go and listen to that if you haven't. It's a pretty quick video. Also, if you don't know your placements and you want to learn but feel too intimidated, go right to my website, lisasalvatore.com, and right on the homepage, you will see a free birth chart generator. You can actually generate your birth chart for free. It'll pull up your placements and you can take a screenshot and you have them. It's worth knowing, even just the basics. But for everybody, the week does start off high energy, high intensity, a lot of energy. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself, you're drinking your water, all of the obvious things that we often overlook. We are also entering a time of year that is chaotic, busy, and also frustrating. It brings in a lot of emotions. And just know that this full moon, the beginning of this week, will heighten all of that. Tuesday, the 28th, we've got the moon in Gemini in opposition to Mercury in Sagittarius. And that moon Mercury is also in a square to Neptune. What does that mean? Let's use the word murky. It may be challenging to get on the same page with other people. We can feel agitated, frustrated, like we want to fight. We're ramped up. We're still coming off of that electrifying full moon energy. You may be upset about something that happened around the full moon, something that was said to you, something that you said, who knows? It may not land that way at all, but you may just feel a little bit agitated, a little bit more ramped up. It's important to remember to listen as much as you speak and channel the feisty energy appropriately. Get outside, go for a walk, talk to a friend, get it out, but be mindful about how you get it out, because just remember, again, murky. Also be mindful of the information you're receiving. Try not to react. Take your time and try to respond thoughtfully, because not is all as it seems this week. And I have to mention, that is especially true when it comes to the world stage. The theatrics, as I like to call it. Use your discernment. Also, we've got Saturn in Pisces, moving to the 1st degree. I feel that emotions are scattered. Memories are resurfacing from the past. We're recognizing where we still have some wounding that has to do with nurturance, especially from childhood. Things that we thought we put away might be coming back up. When this happens, I always tell my clients it's important to sit with that, because there's something there that still needs to be cleared for you, that still needs to be healed. Think of it like a past life block or memory, or a karmic block or memory. And oftentimes just getting it out into the open and speaking it out into awareness helps to clear that energy. So it's worth not just stuffing it back down as it comes up. I understand that it's uncomfortable, but oftentimes we have to go through that uncomfortability to get to being comfortable again. And I think that this might be more prevalent for those that tend to be able to coast and not go too deep with the feelings. This might just bring up something for you, especially family related, especially motherhood, caregiver related. So if you are already feeling this, just know that this too shall pass, but go into it and try to get to the root. Okay, then the moon is going to go void, of course, 8:03 p.m. It leaves the sign of Gemini, and it will enter the sign of Cancer 1:54 a.m. on the 29th. When the moon goes void, it's a good idea to just kind of chill. If you can avoid sending out, really important correspondences during the times that the moon is void, if you can avoid having surgery during those times, it's always a good idea. Again, that's 8:03 p.m. Eastern Time until 1:54 a.m. on the 29th Eastern Time. Wednesday the 29th, the moon is now in sensitive Cancer. It aligns with goddess asteroid Vesta, also in Cancer. I already mentioned that Saturn moved to 1 degree of Pisces and is in a square to Ceres. All of that to say, emotions are tender, but this can also be very sweet. This can also be very cozy. This might be one of those nights where we just want to put on our blanket and our coziest pajamas, make a cup of hot chocolate or beverage of choice, and watch a Hallmark movie. That's this kind of energy. So take care of yourself. The system needs some love. We're coming off that full moon energy still, and full moon hangovers are real. I always say that. The body takes a lot of energy during full moons. It's electrifying. And even when it's good, we have to come down. Thursday the 30th, the moon in Cancer will harmonize with Uranus, the planet of freedom and innovation and liberation. It's a great day to think outside of the box, to color outside of the lines, metaphorically speaking, to do things a different way, maybe counterintuitively, welcoming change, embracing change, knowing that the only constant in this world is change. So don't be afraid to go outside of the normal confines of what you would do. Do things a different way. Be open to differing opinions. If you struggle with that, you might find that Thursday it's easier to do that. So if you do have something that's in need of a new solution, something a little more innovative, a little more creative, you might find the inspiration really comes in Thursday into Friday. And then Friday is December 1st, Rabbit. It's the first of the month, welcoming December. Let it snow, all good things for all of us. Let that be our wish. Also on December 1st, Mercury, our messenger planet, the planet of communication, thoughts, data, information, enters the sign of Capricorn, the earthy, practical, pragmatic sign of Capricorn. And then our minds become colored, collectively speaking, by Capricorn energy. And that'll be until December 23rd. And also this is going to include a Mercury retrograde, the final one of the year. We're not there yet. Mercury will station retrograde December 12th, but we're already going to start to feel the pre-Mercury retrograde energy. So just be a little bit mindful of that. Keyword for Mercury is mindful. Now, Mercury is in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. And the keyword for Saturn is structure, order, control. So it can make our thinking much more that way, much more structured, much more controlled, much more practical, much more down to earth. This can be a good thing, especially after all of the emotions of the last 6 to 8 weeks. It lends an air of practicality to all of our dealings. And even though this is going to include a Mercury retrograde, it starts off in an earth sign. So it's a little bit more helpful. I'm putting that out there to the universe. It's going to be a little bit more helpful. But we'll dig more into the Mercury retrograde as we move throughout next week and the week after. Now, also Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance, is going to be in an inconjunct aspect to the Sun and Mars, which are both in Sagittarius. And that could just mean like, we really want to go forward with certain things. We really want to move ahead, but we're recognizing that we might just not be able to do so yet. There are still some adjustments that need to be made. Our energy levels could be more enhanced than the actual ability to take action could be. So all of this to say, just recognize your limitations, understand that it's not go time for everything just yet, but it will be soon. Jupiter is still retrograde and will station direct at the end of December, and then opportunities should start to move forward again. So hang tight. As we close out Friday, we've also got the moon in Cancer in opposition to powerful Pluto. So some power dynamics could crop up within relationships. That moon is also going to square off with the nodal axis. So again, something could come up about our freedom, about our ability to move around openly within one specific relationship, or maybe within a situation or an organization. It could be a frustration. It could be an ouch point, a checkpoint, if you will. And going back to what I said earlier in the forecast, it could just be this feeling of like, okay, I thought that I healed this. Why is this bothering me so much? Why am I getting so angry about this? So something might still need to be addressed within a specific relationship. So pay attention to it. It could also offer some really deep and powerful conversations that can shift a dynamic, and it is something that is necessary. And then the moon will enter Leo, and it becomes a little bit more fun, a little bit more joyful as we head into the weekend. Connecting to the heart feels much more important, which again can just bring up relationship dynamics. And then Saturday, December 2nd, we've got Mercury, the planet of communication, harmonizing with Saturn, which makes it easier to focus. Mental discipline can be definitely stronger. It's a good day to spend some time in contemplation, focusing on your goals, on your desires, maybe getting some shopping lists together, get an early start if you're doing so for the holidays. And then Sunday, December 3rd, the moon will enter Virgo. We've got more earth energy here to ground us. We've got Venus in Libra squaring off with Pluto in Capricorn. Watch falling prey to fighting, to pettiness. It's going to be easier to get roped into drama, whether it's necessary or unnecessary. You get to decide that. But again, there's this energy of addressing the root of the issue. Like all things Pluto, we must go all the way to the bottom to rise to the top. So there's going to be this depth of emotion and energy that's permeating our relationships this week, especially, but also as we move throughout December. And if we can keep in mind that the ultimate goal of this is to align us with our deepest truth, because that is what we are here to do. We are all spiritual beings. We are souls here having a human experience first. Remember that? And this human stuff, this emotional stuff can be very messy. And that's going to feel enhanced this week. So all of this to say, if you've been coasting along in a specific friendship or relationship and you know it isn't healthy for you, you know that the dynamics are not healthy for you, but yet you've just been hanging on because, for whatever the reason, there's many different reasons why we do this. Just know that it's going to feel increasingly unbearable for you spiritually. It's going to feel like your spirit, your soul is becoming more and more insulted, let's just say, by the dynamics. That frustration, that aggravation is supposed to be, think of it like it's the fuel to help you move forward. For leaving behind the dynamics and in some cases the relationships that are no longer in alignment with you. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a necessary process of evolution that we all go through. Doesn't make it easy. So just watch what comes up repetitively for you, what triggers you, what gets you going, for better or worse, and honor it. Sit with it. Get to the root. Okay, that is your forecast for the week ahead. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll be back next week. Take care.